Okay, this is chapter 6.2, comparing and ordering integers. The essential question, how can you use a number line to order real life events? So it says here on a horizontal number line, okay, let's stop right there. Doody-doo, get my ruler, make sure you have your ruler. Horizontal number line, horizontal, horizon, flat like this. This is a horizontal line. Okay, and I go like so, and then I get rid of this because I'm done with it. Horizontal number line. Actually, no, I wasn't. I need it to do my accurate markings. So if I just set this right here, and let's put 0 like right here, and call that 0. So on a horizontal number line, here it is, numbers to the left are less than numbers to the right. So what they're saying is if I put a number, let's line this up. If I put a mark here and put, let me just put these little marks first. Okay, I'm doing this so that they're this equal distance apart, equidistant. And to the right, I'll use green for positive. And 13, and that's good right there. And now I can get rid of this. Okay, so here is our number line. On a horizontal number line, numbers to the left are less than numbers to the right. So here's 0. This is to the left. -1 is to the left of 0. Numbers to the left are less than numbers to the right. So -1 is less than 0. -2 is less than -1 and 0. -3 is less than -2. -3 is less than -1, and -3 is less than 0, and so on and so on. Going all the way out to -6. -6 is less than all of these numbers that are to the right of it. So -6 is less than 0. And here is the symbol for less than, and the symbol for greater than is this way. And a lot of students confuse that. So here's a real easy way to remember it. If you draw a number line, here's your symbol. See it? See it? See, if I put this right here, there's my arrow to my number line. And notice this here, greater than, we're going this way to the right. Okay, that's one way to memorize those or remember which way the alligator mouth opens, as many people call it. Okay, then it says numbers to the right are greater than numbers to the left. So -1 is greater than -6. -1 is greater than, use the greater than symbol, and it's greater than -6 because it's to the right of -6. Okay, so there's just an example. And here's 1 and 2 and 3. 3 is greater than 2. 4 is greater than all of them. 5 is the greatest so far. So 5 is greater than all of these numbers, and 6 and 7. Okay, so 7 is greater than -6. 7 is greater than 0 because it's to the right of all of these numbers. It is greater than all of them. Okay, so that's what this chapter is going to address. Okay, so example 1 is asking us to compare numbers. So it says comparing integers on a horizontal number line. So guess what? I need my ruler. So I get my ruler and I draw a nice, neat, straight line. And then I move it down and I put an arrow going this way and an arrow going that way. That tells us that the numbers go to infinity and beyond. Okay, so I'm going to start by putting a mark here, and I'll just put all these marks even a millimeter or a centimeter apart. I mean, these are 1 centimeter on my screen anyway. And I'm going to go out to there, and that's good. All right, so now I'm done with this. So let's get rid of it. Okay, so I'm going to start negatives, and I'm going to use red. And it says to compare these two numbers, -2, or +2 and -6. So I don't want to start at -6. I always like to go one further. So let's start at -7 and then just number our number line like so. And in order. And then I'll make 0. Well, let's make it, yeah, black. and then I'll switch to green for positives. 1, 2. You don't have to color code your number line. I'm just doing it to make it a little bit more fancy. Red's negative, green's positive, and zero's neither. I just want to keep reiterating that. 0 is not positive, 0 is not negative, so it's a different color. Okay, so we want to compare -2 and 6. So here's -6 right here. So I'm going to graph the points. So there's -6, and I want to graph 2. Well, 2 is over here. All right, and there it is. So I'm going to write these numbers in order as I see them. So I'm going to put -6, and then how about I put a box like so? And that's where my answer is going to go. And then I'm going to switch to green for positive because I have the number 2. So here's -6 and here's 2. And when it says to compare, it means is 2 greater than -6? Is it less than -6? Is it equal to -6? That kind of thing. That's how we compare. Greater than, less than, or equal. That's a comparison. So they're asking us, is -6 less than 2 or greater than 2 or equal to 2? All right. And so obviously -6 is to the left. Okay. So any number to the left is less than. And remember, our arrow tells us what less than is. Less than is to the left. So -6 is less than 2. And I just compared numbers on the number line. Okay, we're going to do example 2 before I give you any homework problems. So let's just continue with this. Okay, so here's comparing integers on a vertical number line. Vertical this time. All right, so I'm going to get my ruler out. Here's my ruler. And I'm going to rotate it so that it's vertical. Vertical means straight up and straight down. So I'm going to move it here. And I'm going to draw a nice straight line on my paper like so. And then I draw my arrow pointing up and my arrow pointing down. So then I'm going to use my ruler to put marks, in this case, 1 centimeter apart each. I'm just going to do a bunch of them to fill the line. Okay, I haven't even looked at the numbers yet, and I'm hoping they're not too far away. All right, and then once I'm done, I'm going to get rid of my ruler. So there's my vertical number line. Okay, that was the key word here. Highlight that. On a vertical number line, compare -5 and -3. Now remember, up is positive and down is negative on this case. And our smaller and -5 and -3, well, which way are we going? Well, -5, -4, -3, -2, -1, 0, and up to positive. So if I start with, I'm going to do this a little different. I'm going to start at 0 up here, just so that we understand what numbers are supposed to go where. And I'm going to put 0 here. And these are both negative. They're both less than 0, so they're both below 0. So I'm going to go -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, -6, -7. And that's far enough. So I'm going to adjust this. I'm going to take my eraser and I'm going to shorten my number line, switch to black, and I'm just going to put my arrow here. And I am just going to move this so it's more centered on my screen. So there we go. Unfortunately, you can't do that on your paper, but technology allows me to do that. So now I'm going to graph the 2 numbers that they gave us. Where is -5? It is right here. Where is -3? It's right here. Now remember, now the number line isn't going to help us this time with our greater than, less than. We're not going to draw this. That's not correct. So anyway, we're going to put the number -5. Let me use red because they're negative. So I'm going to put -5. Draw a box. My answer is going to go in that box. And then -3. So my answer is either going to be this, or this, or this. That's what it means to compare. All right, so which is it? -5 is less than, so now watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to, just to point this out to you, I'll group all these little tricks I can do with the computer, and then I can rotate this sideways. Well, there we go. -5, use this symbol, -3. So that is the less than symbol. That's going to go here, and then I'll rotate this back vertical. Okay, so that's a little trick you can do if you want to turn your paper if this vertical confuses you. So -5 is less than -3. Okay, and that's how we do a vertical number line comparison. Now you should be able to do, after doing example 1 and 2 for you, now you should be able to do problems 4 through 11 in your exercises. Okay, example 3 is asking us to do ordering of integers. So it asks us to order all of these numbers from least to greatest, graph each integer on a number line. So the first thing we're going to do is graph them. So what you do is get your ruler out. Okay, you should be pretty, oops, let me do black. I've done this a few times now. So there we go. So there is my straight line, arrows at each end. And then I'm going to put marks equal distance apart. Okay. And there we go. And I don't need this anymore. Let's get rid of it. Put your ruler away after you've done this. And here is 0, and we have negatives and we have positives. So I'm going to start with 0 and I'm going to put it in the middle. The numbers aren't really that big, so we're not going to go off the grid. So I'm going to put a 0 here. And then negative, I'm just going to do my number line now. And my positive side, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, so there's my number line. Now we're going to graph them. -4 is right here. 3 is right here. 0 is here. And now we're just plotting the points. That's what it's called, plotting or graphing. -1 is here. And then finally, -2. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 numbers graphed. And now it says, write the integers as they appear on the number line from left to right. Okay. Okay, so here we go. So let's use purple this time. So what's the first number from left to right? Okay, we're going this way. There's the first one, -4, comma, continuing. Here's the next one, -2, comma, on to the next, -1, comma, 0, and then finally, +3. Okay, remember we can write a positive number with a plus sign or without. So there is the list of these numbers from least to greatest. Okay, so step 1, graph them on a number line. Step 2, write them in the order that they were asked. Least to greatest is left to right. If it said greatest to least, it'd be right to left. Now you should be able to do problem numbers 14 through 19 in your exercises. Okay, example 4 is reasoning with integers. It says a number line is greater, a number line, a number is greater than -8. So the first thing I'm going to do is highlight the first thing it says. Okay, a number is greater than -8 and less than 0. What is the greatest possible integer value of these numbers? Let me fix these. These are really wide. That's better. All right, so a number is greater than -8 and, let me underline that, because the difference between and or is big. So the word and means both. Okay, it satisfies both. And this is a multiple choice question. So I'm going to explain to you how to address a multiple choice question. So if you're taking a test and you have no idea how to do it and you don't know the answer, but you want to give your best guess, Right now, if I guessed, I had a 1 in 4 chance of getting it right, which is 25% chance of correct. If I can eliminate some of these, my odds of guessing increases. So that's how you deal with a multiple choice problem. So I'm going to explain that better when we get to the problem. So it says a number is greater than -8 and less than 0. What is the greatest possible integer value of this number? So we're going to do a number line again. So I'm going to draw a number line. Okay, bring my ruler out again. Oops. Try changing the color. Draw a number line. Okay, put my arrows at each end and then mark all of these. Okay, it gets very routine after a while. But don't get lazy, be neat. Math is all about precise. Okay, let's just move this down here. All right, so we start at -10 and we're going up to 2. So I need a lot of marks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. We have enough. So I'm going to start in red, -11, -10, and so on. Okay, we had just enough. I would like to go out one more though. I always like to go beyond the number that is in the problem. So I'm going to pull this off like so. And then I'm going to extend my line. Let's do it this way. No, I don't want to do that. I just need to extend it a little further. And draw an arrow at the end. And add another number. I just like going out one beyond. Okay, so there we go. Now we have -10 is here. So I'm going to plot these. A number is greater than -8. So the key word here is this, -8. So here is -8 and less than 0. So here is 0. So greater than -8 is this way and less than 0 are numbers to the left. Okay, so obviously -10 is here. So that goes bye-bye. 2 is right here. Also not a possible solution. Okay, it's because we're outside our number. So we know that the number is in between -8 and 0. So it says, what is the greatest possible integer value of this number? Greater than -8, but less than 0. Well, -7 is here and -1 is here. So when it says greatest, we want the number most to the right. So it is the answer to this problem is C. Okay, hopefully that makes sense to you. And so now you should be able to do problem number 22 in your exercise. Okay, here's a real life application. And it's the state of Virginia, which is kind of cool because I used to live there. Right here, I'm going to add another dot. And this is SUFFOLK, Suffolk. I used to live here in Suffolk. That's where I started my mathematical teaching career. Taught 8 years at Nansemond River High School in Suffolk, Virginia. Okay, so example 5, real life application. The diagram shows the coldest recorded temperatures for several cities in Virginia. Which city has the coldest recorded temperature? So I'm going to get rid of Suffolk now because it's not part of the problem. And I'm going to go to my highlighter. So we have -11. Whoa, let's undo that. Let's switch this to, I don't know why that's going to so thick. All right, so we have -11. We have -10. -12, Norfolk, -3, Wallops Island, 0, Richmond, -12, Lynchburg, -10, and Roanoke, -11. So the diagram shows the coldest recorded temperatures for several cities in Virginia. Which city has the coldest recorded temperature? Graph each integer on a vertical number line. So the first thing I'm going to do is get my ruler out, rotate it so it's vertical. Okay. And I'm going to put it over here. Okay. Vertical line, nice and straight using the ruler. Okay, you should be getting the idea now of how this is done. We've done this in 2 chapter sections now, right? So 1, 2, 3, every centimeter, I'm putting a mark so that they're equal distance apart. Okay, so there we have it. So I'm done with this. So there's my number line. Okay, and now let's label them. So we have 0, we have -3, -12, -10, -11. So there's no positive numbers. They're all negative and 0. So I'm going to start with 0 at the top. And then I'm going to go down -1 and so on. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Just enough. I was counting how many spaces I did. And you have to make sure you've done a large enough number line to fit all of these. Okay, and now I'm going to plot them. Wallops Island was 0, so I'll put that here, and I will put Wallops Island abbreviated. Okay, I'm just going east to west so I don't miss anything. Norfolk was -3, so right here, Norfolk. And then going east or west further, I'm starting east, going west, -3, -12, which is way down here, and that is Richmond. And then continuing west to Lynchburg, which is -10, which is right here. And then -11 down here, right here is Roanoke. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 temperatures graphed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 temperatures given on the map. We've covered everything. So it says graph each integer on a vertical number line. Check. We've done that. B, has a negative Fahrenheit temperature ever been recorded on Wallops Island? Explain. So they're asking about Wallops Island, which is right here. And it says, has a negative Fahrenheit temperature ever been recorded? Well, these are coldest recorded temperatures. Well, if 0 was the coldest, then the answer is no, comma, the coldest temperature recorded on Wallops Island was 0 degrees Fahrenheit, and 0 is not negative. Okay? That's where the word explain comes in. Answer the question and then give an explanation in a complete sentence. No, the coldest temperature recorded on Wallops Island was 0 degrees Fahrenheit, and 0 is not negative. Okay, so that's how you'd answer that question. Now you should be able to do problem number 25 in your exercises. Okay, so that brings us to the end of chapter 6.2, and here's a list of the exercises that were already posted throughout. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.